I'm good.
I'm good.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back into My Chamber TV. We are the heartbeat and the pulse of the Tampa Bay community. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Barbara Marville Kelly, and with me is my partner here, Mr. Paul Friedlander.
Yes, ma'am, and it's good to be back. It seems like the months in between, from first Wednesday, get longer and longer.
I'm telling you, it seems like we were just here, and we say this every single week. But we do have a great packed show with business owners in the community, which I really love because it's just a nice, big, happy family here in business and family and how everybody gets involved with which chamber?
The Greater Pasco Chamber of Commerce.
What does that tell you?
That is the largest chamber in Pasco County with 1,100 plus members now.
I was just going to ask you that. That's big. That's big. And it's great for our members, too.
It is.
Speaking of our members, and I want to get this right, the Moss Family Automotive.
That is correct.
And we have Chris and Ricky. Chris May, who's Director of Partnerships, and we have Ricky Santana, Sales Manager. Two people we have right here to talk to about just about anything you ever want to know.
And do they have a deal for you?
Absolutely.
Today, right?
Right, absolutely,
All
today.
right, okay.
Guaranteed.
So where can we get started? Because we were talking a little bit before the show
Absolutely.
on how going in to purchase a car, whether it's pre-owned or whether it's new, whatever it is, it makes us feel a little uncomfortable sometimes. And I think it's because of the bad actors out there that are out there in any kind of a business or industry. So it appears to me with the notes here that you guys are changing everything.
We're trying to eliminate that enigma. We try to understand that one of the things that people complain about, I should say, is it takes too long. I was there for 5 hours, 6 hours. So what we try to do is we try to streamline the process.
Okay.
So we do a little bit of a meet and greet and sit down and try to get some information on basically what you're trying to accomplish today. Whether you're in the fact-finding mode or whether you're ready to purchase a car that day, we want to make sure that we give you all the information so you can make a conscious buying decision, because it's the second biggest investment that a customer will make, other than a home being the first.
Sure.
And if you're financing a car for 6 years, your life's going to change in 6 years. If it's just a single guy, but you may be getting married, you can add a family onto that. You know, you want something that's going to make sense if you're going to move forward.
Of course, of course.
Absolutely.
So what is one of the first things that you would suggest to our viewers if they want to come visit you and just kind of do a little tire kicking?
Well, first of all, with the internet, that's changed completely the perspective of the auto industry, because you get to see all the models. You get to know exactly, you know, with TrueCar and the prices of the vehicle, and you can go on KBB and know what your car is worth. So if you do a little bit of pre-homework, as I like to call it, and narrow it down to maybe 2 or 3 cars that you really are interested in that kind of fit your needs, and then come in and share that information. I mean, we're not trying to interrogate, we're just trying to help you so that the process doesn't take as long, so you're not misled or encouraged, because I hear ads all the time. $199. Well, yeah, okay, so you have to have an 800 Beacon, you have to have $4,000 down, a paid-off trade, current military, active student, blah, 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 blah. And it's just a big smoking screen.
Yeah.
And you don't want to do that to somebody, because I've sat at the other side of the table. And
I think that's what gives us a bad rap. They think we're false advertising when there's certain criteria you have to get.
When in fact it really isn't.
It isn't. And then they say, well, you know, you hear some of the catchphrases. I always laugh over 17 years here. Nobody pays less from the factory. Well, true, because we all pay the same. So nobody. We all get the same incentives. We get the same thing. The only difference that we do with the Moss Family Automotive is that I show you everything. I tell you what it is. I tell you what you're going to do. But you have to give me some information, too. Because if you're trying to buy a $60,000 vehicle and want to be at $250 a month,
be realistic.
The math doesn't add up.
No.
Not even at 0%. You know, I mean, there's no way feasible. But you can't get mad at the salesperson.
No.
You have to understand that times have changed, and you know there's different things that put together a car deal.
Sure.
There's the value of your vehicle you're trading in. There's your credit history. There's negative equity. There's the car that you're buying and the rebates that are available. Or if it's a pre-owned car, if it's certified pre-owned, you get a better interest rate for financing because that's what manufacturers do. All those things come into play. But if you just give us 10 minutes, we'll narrow it down, and all we're truly asking for is 1%. To donate to us, because the other 99 we're going to earn. We're going to go out there and we're going to do everything we can to earn your business the right way, which is full disclosureship, which a lot of people don't want to admit to, but we're just straight across the board.
And that's
I
why
am
some-
sold. I am
That's why sometimes
sold.
it takes so long, because we are trying to give you all the options. Maybe
Of
a
course.
pre-owned is a better deal for you. Maybe there's some great incentives to buy a new car.
Yeah.
You know what? Leasing now. They've
Yeah,
changed some of
leasing.
the-
I mean, I'm
leasing
currently leasing
is
my
kinda
vehicle.
coming back.
That's what I wanted to ask, because
Yeah.
didn't we, weren't
we
we
just-
under the misconception that leasing, well, you're going to end up in the end having to pay so much more if you drive here? I don't even know, because I've never leased a car.
I've leased numerous. I've purchased new pre-owned. With leasing, back in the 80s,
Yeah.
it's what they had the open-end lease. You didn't know what the car was worth
Right.
3 years from now. Now on your documents, on your contract,
That tells
you know exactly what the car is worth. You know what the charge is going to be, because you set them up and there's 10,000-mile leases, 12, 15, 18,000 miles, depending on your driving habits.
Right.
And that's why we have that little bit of a questionnaire. We kind of ask those questions. How many miles do you averagely drive a year? So we can put together the best package. But they're in that misconception that, oh, I'm over miles. What am I going to do? Well, the only time that you're really paying for the miles and the penalty is when you actually say, here you go, I don't want the car.
Not anymore.
Here's the keys back. Thank you very much.
Right.
9 times out of 10, you need another vehicle, so you lease another vehicle, and then they just trade it in, and the mile penalty doesn't count because you're just trading in the vehicle like it was a normal car. Or if you want to keep it because it's been good to you, you know exactly what you're going to buy it for. There's no hidden agenda.
Right.
You know all these things up front, but most importantly, it allows you to buy a car that has more options and a little bit more expensive at less of a payment.
Right.
I like
So,
that.
but when does that, Ricky, if I'm coming in, let's say I know I'm coming in, I'm going to buy a car.
Okay.
And I know, like you guys mentioned, Chris, you mentioned the 3 options. We can buy certified pre-owned, you can
Right.
buy a new car, or you can lease.
Right.
And I know when we, in the past, my wife's always been skeptical about the leasing side of things. When does it make sense for people to do one of those 3?
Good question.
For me and people that I've known that are in my family,
Right.
I have an uncle who likes to have a new car every 3 years.
Yes. So,
It's still under the warranty. He has no headaches. That's what he wants. I currently lease my vehicle because I like to see different vehicles. I'm like the kid in the candy store. We see a new car. Oh, I like that one. I like
Gotta
this.
have that, gotta have that.
If you hold on to your cars like they do on an average 4 to 5 years, then maybe the purchasing option is the best for you. If you're within a restricted budget, that we have parents that come in and buying the first car for their teenage, and you want a good quality car, because a lot of times, you try to buy the cheapest car, but sometimes the one that's least expensive costs you the more money because of everything that starts to go wrong with it. So you have to look at that, and that's why I reiterate back to what are you trying to accomplish today?
Exactly.
If you're looking for a payment, if you're looking for a good quality car, it's a first car, it's your last car, whatever it may be, just give us the opportunity to earn your business. That's basically all we ever ask for.
Speak about earning the business. I asked you just before the show how long you've been with the company. I want you to tell our viewers that, too, because there's a lot of integrity for you to stay with the company that long.
I have been with the Moss family for 17 years. I was a customer of David Sr. I've known him since '93, bought all my cars, never bought from anywhere else since '93. That's a long time. And he's the one that recruited me. I came from a completely different profession. I didn't know anything about cars or anything like that, but I did know about people. So that's the reason that I came on board. But I've done every facet at the dealership. I'm currently a sales manager, but I've done a sales manager. I've been a used car manager. I've been a finance manager. I've been a director of operations. I've been a corporate instructor. I've dealt with the corporate inventory. I'm the face of the Spanish market. There we go. I literally translate everything that I say to you now, but in Spanish, so that everybody has an understanding. I don't try to give mixed signals, because maybe that person is truly bilingual and they say, well, wait a minute, in the English they say this and in the Spanish they say that. Not me. I'm fully transparent. I'm the guy that comes out and tells you, this is what you have, these are your options. Which one works best for you?
And that's very reasonable. It makes a lot of sense. It makes me want to come and hear what you have to say, because you're giving your customer that chance to make an informed decision.
Absolutely.
And, I haven't purchased a car in a while, and I do have a Nissan, and just before the show, I said, give me your cards, I'm coming over there, because I just love the car that I do have, but it's time to take a look at what the options are, and what's in the budget, and all that
all
kind
those
of thing.
things.
And, well, we're all very supportive of family-owned business anyway. And I would much rather do business with a family-owned business because I feel there's more passion there, don't you?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
definitely more.
And they
passion
are in the
there.
dealership. It's
Yeah.
not like
Yeah.
some lady on the street that's doing advertising. for
David
both
Moss
of them
Sr.
anytime.
and David Moss Jr. are both in the dealership. And there's
They're
a lot
involved
of
in day-to-day
yeah,
operations.
yeah, there's a lot of things that some people are afraid of, and I can understand that. Like
Right.
when you go into the business office, the finance manager, it's like going to see Oz. Ooh, you know? And you have all that, but
You're perspiring.
yeah, you're sweating there, but
Here's what I'm trying to get on my money.
in reality, you're protecting your investment. Most people don't take that into consideration when
No.
they buy a vehicle.
No.
For example, gap insurance.
Yes.
I am a firm believer that if you leave a dealership without gap insurance, you're just
Yeah.
putting yourself out there.
I have a friend that actually did that
Yeah.
without.
Oh,
You-
I got
And-
an opportunity. I saved $6,000 because my car got totaled.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I
So
owed
did my friends.
$6,000.
Yep.
They
And it was
lost.
like I won the lottery.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it pays that difference between what the car is worth and
If it gets totaled, yeah.
if it gets
Yeah,
totaled
yeah.
and what it's worth.
Right.
Right, and it's a depreciating asset. Let's be real
Right.
to ourselves about it. And you have it in there. I mean, you have a smartphone, right?
Yeah.
Well, it probably cost about $1,000, and you have that insurance on there in case something happens to it.
yeah.
Right? I mean,
And
so
gap
you.
insurance is not expensive.
No, it isn't. So you're paying probably in most cases more for the cell phone insurance than
I'm
you
sure
are,
you are.
than gap
yeah.
insurance
Sure you are.
to protect
Yeah.
a $25,000
And
investment.
we are in wind down mode, believe it or
No.
not.
Yeah, we are.
Wow, I'd like to come back and educate them some
I'd
more.
love to have
Yeah,
you come
do a
back
whole
and
show on it.
Wrap up with some important stuff for us in the next 20 seconds.
Well, we've been in this market for 5 years. We've accomplished a lot. Mr. Moss believes in giving back to the community.
That's what I'm here for.
And that's what Chris is here for, and I'm here to make sure that when you come to any of the dealerships that I happen to be at that time, I'm going to take care of you with kid glove. Moss Care is an important factor that we offer a lot of benefits, not only on new cars, but on pre-owned cars, like lifetime oil changes, lifetime tire rotations. It's a great time. It's a great investment. You won't be disappointed if you come and see us.
Thank you,
guys,
my
for being
friends.
on the
Thank
show.
you.
We'll
We'll
see
be
you again
right back,
soon.
guys.
Pleasure.
We'll be right back after this. Hi, everyone. Welcome back into My Chamber TV. We are featuring the Greater Pasco Chamber of Commerce with
Yes,
Paul
we are.
Friedlander, myself, Barbara Marville Kelly. And then we also have our next guest, Gulianna. I'm going to have you say your name for me.
Gulianna Mesropyan. I know it is a
Mesropyan.
Mesropyan.
That's so
yes.
pretty.
It is
Now, why
pretty.
did I let that roll
All
off
right.
my tongue? I don't know.
Thank you.
Now, you're with Suncoast Credit Union.
Yes.
And you happen to be a mortgage loan officer, and Gulianna was just telling us how many hours she puts in every day, how available she can be here for you. If you're out on the weekends or even during the week and it's maybe after the normal
Yes.
banking hours, how cool is that, right? So tell us why the Suncoast Credit Union is different, besides you being a little bit different, to say the least.
Well, Suncoast Credit Union is a local bank, and we are a credit union. We are for our members. It's ruled by members. We have a board of members. Anything what's happening, any changes, we have to stand up before the members and to make any changes. We also, as a credit union, exempt from intangible tax, and intangible tax is a big charge on your closing costs when you apply and do mortgages when you buy your home. And we just created 2 great programs for our members. One of them calls Hero. We call them Hero because they are truly our heroes. Teachers, firefighters, police, nurses, and also veterans.
Awesome.
With only 5% down, so it's 95% financing. And usually, if you do 95% financing, you have to pay mortgage insurance.
That's what I was just going to ask you. I noticed that it does not. How does, and that's what this is special about these heroes, the heroes financing, and then also we'll talk about first-time home buyers that
Right.
Suncoast Credit Union uses.
Right,
Awesome.
correct. No PMI. Mortgage insurance is an extra payment to your mortgage payment, so it's a lot of savings. Also, for the heroes, we're waiving origination fee, which is $800.
Yep.
Nice.
And also, it is a 30-year fixed loan, and usually you pay discount points. Discount points could be 1/4 to 1% of your purchase price. So, for example, if you're buying something for $300,000, you pay 3,000 discount points.
Yep.
And it is waived for our heroes.
That's
So
awesome.
nice.
basically, all you pay is your credit report and appraisal.
Gotcha.
It's a free loan, but we've created it for our heroes because we understand they are low risk because they, good people, they
Yes.
pay their bills and they helping us with our life being.
Yes, yeah. And we're here because of what they
exactly,
and their
exactly.
service. Talk to us a little bit about that. That Heroes one is great. I'm looking at the one for the first-time home buyers.
Yeah,
and
me too.
You offering the same thing with no PMI for up to 97% financing.
97, yes. The difference is the hero loan, max loan amount is $350,000.
Right.
And first-time home buyer, max loan amount is $250,000. So those are this option for the loan. I'm sorry, for people who just starting getting into this
Right.
business. Home buying business, and it's very, very hastic and very hard to understand and get involved with, and that's what I'm here. Gulianna Mesropyan, call me
Julianna,
if you have any questions.
With the first-time home buyer, I'm looking at a couple of things on here. What exactly? I know that they can't have owned a home in the last 3 years, which I
Last
that
3
part-
years,
yeah,
correct,
Which I
yes,
understand. But talk to me about what type of a course do they go that is required? What's that all about?
It's a course online.
Okay.
You go online, we send them a link. It's
Right.
free of charge.
Right.
There is no charge for that. It's a 1 to 2 hours, depends how fast you read.
Right.
And you take course, there is an exam, but it's very easy exam.
Right.
And that's all you do once you
But
complete
is
the
it-
course.
Is it bringing them up to speed on what's involved in owning a house? Is that what it does?
Right, it teaches them how to budget,
Oh, that's
how to,
awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I figured it
is.
was. I
Yes.
think that's awesome that you require that. And I think
Yeah.
it's
Yes.
important because so many people don't understand and end up getting in trouble after.
And, well, yeah, you're right. And the other thing is that they understand the lingo. Everybody's on
Correct.
the same page.
Correct.
Yes.
We try not to use the lingo. Sometimes it's hard because we use it all the time in
Sure,
between among each
sure.
other. But we're really trying to explain people what they're getting into. And if you just have a question about home buying, you don't have to go through Suncoast. You can always call me and ask questions like, oh, I'm trying to do this, or I'm trying to do this. How much do I need? How much can I get? With the first-time home buyer, it's 3% down, and 2% could be a gift from relatives.
I see that here.
And if you get a gift from relatives, all you come in with 1% and closing costs. We also are giving $1,000 lender credit for the first-time home buyers.
Wow.
Okay.
This is a nice,
Yeah, it
nice
is. Yeah.
deal here.
Right. So
Yeah.
it's really inexpensive, I would say.
Yes.
And the rates are very good. We are very competitive with our rates. So if you check our rates, you can call me. You can go online and check the rates. But for any questions, please call me. It's Gulianna, mortgage loan officer from Suncoast Credit Union.
And Juliana, the other thing I've noticed on here, and I like this concept, is that if you're doing a 97% loan, then obviously there's 3% that needs. So to keep it easy, if it's a $200,000 home,
$6,000.
it's going to be $6,000. But you require the purchaser to give a minimum of 1% or $2,000, but they can take a family member to match the other to make up the $4,000 difference.
Correct.
Okay, and I like that.
Yeah.
There has to be a certain amount of responsibility. You can't, even though it's not free, you still can't give it away for free.
And that's a decent, I mean, you can find
Yeah.
a really decent property around
yeah.
for that. So
For
that's
$250,
really good.
especially,
Yeah.
yes.
Especially
Yeah.
for a first-time home buyer.
Pasco County.
I know.
Pasco County is still affordable, and it's still,
Yeah.
first-time home buyers are still good for it, and the area is still expanding, and the prices are still right for the first-time home buyer.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, they are.
With both of these, and the first-time home buyer, but with the Heroes Mortgage, is this a system that's in place for a certain amount of time, or is it something you guys do all the time?
We do it all the time. We've created it. It's our own product. It's
Gotcha.
conventional loan.
Gotcha.
It's not a government loan. You don't have
So
to
it's
apply
not
with the
VA.
government
Gotcha.
like VA loan. But talking about VA loan, there is a lot of fees involved in VA
Yes, there
loan.
is.
So there is a funding fee, and
Yeah.
that's what I always tell my members, my clients. Give me a chance to send you an estimate.
Yeah.
I don't have to pull your credit. I don't
Right.
have to apply. They don't have to apply. I don't have to take an application. But at least I can tell them how much is it going to cost you if you come in with Suncoast or you come in with another lender. So
Gotcha.
you can shop around just like you're shopping around for home insurance.
Do I need to be a member of Suncoast Credit Union to be able to take advantage of one of these first-time home buyer or the
You don't
Heroes?
have to be a member when you're applying. Once you applied and approved, yes, we
Yes.
require you to open an account
Okay,
with
that's fair. I just wanted to ask, so I
Yeah.
didn't want anybody to go, well, I'm not a member there, I shouldn't even go bother Juliana over at Suncoast
No,
Credit
they
Union.
can
Yeah.
always start the process and till the point where they got approved, then we require a member. And it's free membership. There is no fee. There is no minimum balance on any of the accounts, savings or checking. So with $5, you can just deposit $5 and open an account.
That's
Easy.
awesome.
There you go.
They can also do it online or at the branch.
Where
That's
are you
great.
located?
I am remote. I
Oh,
work
okay.
all over.
All right.
I go see customers at the branch nearby them.
Right.
Most of the time, I do it over the phone because a lot of people just have questions over the phone. I can take an application over the phone. But if they need one-on-one conversation, some people don't feel comfortable talking over the phone, we can meet at any branch, any Suncoast branch.
That's awesome.
That's
Yes.
excellent. How long have you been with
I was
Suncoast?
gonna ask.
5 years.
5 years.
Yes,
Have
5
you always
years.
been in this business?
I've been with mortgages 16 years now.
Yeah?
Yes, I worked for the big bank before, and I got laid off 3 times. So it was kind of hectic, and then I said, okay, I think I want to go to a local bank, and once I got into Suncoast, it was great. You know, they give you opportunities to grow, to expand, and they never let you go once you're there.
That's
Even
great.
in a bad time, they find a job for you.
Isn't that great? And right
Yes.
now, with the real estate the way it is, Ooh la la, it's perfect
Yes.
for you.
Yeah.
Yes,
That
yes.
is so-
We're pretty busy with the rates going down.
Yes, yes,
Rates
yes.
are going down almost 0.5% again.
And Barbara, I
Love it.
just to let you know what kind of a commitment Julianne has on her emails that she sends from Suncoast Credit Union. At the end, my goal is to help provide you with the very best service. If your experience can be improved, please reach out to my manager. So she's got that much confidence in her
That-
ability.
and
Plus,
isn't
if
that
you're like me,
wonderful?
you never, if there's something there that, if you don't know that it's broke, if there's something that they didn't like, if they don't tell you, you can't fix it.
That's right.
Absolutely. We
You know,
do
and
have
I'm
a
always the
survey.
same way. If I've done something that's offended you or you don't like the way it's being done, if you can't let
I
me
want to
know,
know.
let somebody else know.
That's right. And
Absolutely.
customer service is,
Yeah.
that's what it's about. That's
We've talked
everything.
about at the end of the day, whether you're in the banking title, whether you're
It doesn't
a
matter.
host on a TV show, or
It
at the end
doesn't
of the
matter.
day, if you're flipping burgers at McDonald's,
That's
we're all
right.
in the same business,
Yeah.
customer service.
Yes.
Exactly.
And
Correct.
it seems like you guys provide awesome customer service.
Exactly.
We do have a survey. We send every customer, once we close on the
That's
mortgage,
mortgage.
we do send them a survey, and we do read those surveys, and we read them inside the office. So when we get great, of course, people get clapped, and when we don't, not so great, then they go to our office and get talked to.
But those are almost better because, again, it teaches you something you need to get better at.
Absolutely,
or,
yes.
You know?
Yes, if I miss something or I misled somebody, I want to know.
Well, we're getting ready to wrap up.
Yes,
So
we
one more
are.
time, give us your information real quick, young lady.
My name is Gulianna Mesropyan. I'm with Suncoast Credit Union. I'm a mortgage loan officer. For any questions about mortgage or getting into a housing market, please call me 813-340-2458.
Thank
to see you
you.
soon.
Awesome.
Thank
It
you
is
Thank
so
you,
an
guys.
much.
absolute
This was so
pleasure.
great.
And as I said before we started, I love that yellow jacket.
I was just going to say the same thing. It looks really great on camera.
does. It
I'm going to
does.
keep these notes because I have people that just might be interested in talking with you. So
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you very, very much again, and
Thank
we'll
you,
see you
guys.
around town.
And we'll
Thank you
see you
for
guys
having me.
next segment.
We'll be right
coming
back.
right up.
Thank
Well, welcome back. This is the third segment. We've had two awesome guests on so far. We've got a super stellar guest coming up. I'm Paul Friedlander with Total Title Solutions, today representing the Greater Pasco Chamber of Commerce with my awesome, she's not really co-host, she's really the host, but the awesome Miss Barbara Marville Kelly.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us once again. We love these shows, and we're here the very first Wednesday of every month, bringing the community to you, basically, and letting you see what's happening in the community, whether you're a business owner or a resident. And we always have great guests, too, coming through the Greater Pasco Chamber of Commerce. Coming up next is Michelle Olson, who is with the Alzheimer's Association. Welcome.
Thank you.
It's so great to have you with us. I want to hear all about this. How long have you been with this association? What made you get into it?
So I've actually been with the association for about 7 months, so I'm still fairly new, but Alzheimer's runs on both sides of my family, unfortunately. So I've always had a connection. Recently, a few years ago, my grandmother passed away with Alzheimer's. So with that, I saw not only what she went through having the disease, but what my father went through being her primary caretaker. So that's kind of how I got into it. I always knew when I was younger that I wanted to do something that meant more than just a job to me. So I'm super passionate about it, and it's really cool that I get to work with my family on it and work with all the amazing people in the community who are passionate about the same thing that I am as well.
Oh, she is. Michelle, I had an opportunity to meet her last year because they needed a fill-in MC for their
Yes,
walk
Paul was amazing.
that we're going to talk about later in the show. But talk to us about, you guys have some wonderful programs.
Yes.
It's a, like you, I had Pam's mother was in a assisted living facility for 4.5 years in a memory care unit. And it is very debilitating, and it's a sad to watch. But talk to us about the programs that you guys offer and some of the services.
Yeah, of course. So one of my favorite things about the association is we have a 24/7 hotline. So that is something where you can talk with master level individuals any time of the day or night, whether it's something as simple as I'm having a hard day or a caregiver needs to talk through a situation with their loved one. That's really awesome because as people know who have a connection to Alzheimer's, this isn't something that ends at 5. This is something that goes all through the night. 2 in the morning, you need someone to call when you're feeling alone or confused. So we have that 24/7 hotline, which is really amazing. And then a lot of our programs managers, they go out and give educational seminars about things like the 10 warning signs, general differences between Alzheimer's and dementia, and just how to live like healthy body, healthy brain. And we also have local support groups. So we have those nationwide, but also here in our backyard in Pasco County.
Can you give us, just out of curiosity, and I don't want to take a lot of time from the show, but can you give us a synopsis of the difference between dementia and Alzheimer's?
Yeah, so
Please.
it's kind of like, think of it as the umbrella, just like cancer, and then you have all the different cancers. So there's dementia, and then Alzheimer's is a segment out of that. And there's also many different types of Alzheimer's as well. But I could have a whole segment on the different...
Well, we may have to do that.
Yeah,
because
we may.
Definitely. And like I said, we have a really great programs team, too, that specializes in going out into the community and really, explaining those kind of things and how to be prepared to know those 10 warning signs, because a lot of people think of Alzheimer's, unfortunately, as Alzheimer's, and knowing the differences between normal aging and what to look for with Alzheimer's and dementia.
Let me ask you this. How do you know what the youngest person that's been diagnosed? Because I know it doesn't just affect people that are old.
I don't really know the youngest off the top of my head, but unfortunately, just since I started this job, I met someone that was 42.
Yeah.
And he was pretty far along with early onset. But I don't know what the earliest one is.
No. And I was more interested to let people know that there are people as young as 42, because I think people think of 60, 70, 80-year-old, 90-year-old people.
Yeah.
Well,
and that's not the case.
We're not born with a medical manual to follow as we go through life. And as we add years to our life, we'd also like to add life to our years. But when all these different little things crop up, you go, well, is this something I need to be worried about? Can you give, in a quick little amount of time on what we can look for? Because we've got a lot of viewers out there that are kind of scratching their head right now. Can you give that?
I kind of like to leave that over to the program side of things.
Okay.
I mean,
Well, that's fair.
fine.
just because I'm not a special. I always say people want to know like their research and everything. We have a
Gotcha,
really
gotcha.
awesome science hub.
Oh, that's what I love.
Yeah, so
I love that.
I always tell people I'm really passionate about what I do, but I don't pretend to be a scientist.
Okay,
So
okay.
that's what our science hub is for. So on my like lunch break and everything, I just scroll through the science hub because there's so much that we're doing with Alzheimer's research, and there's so much up to date with that. So definitely check out the science hub to keep up to date with everything
And
we're
what
doing
is
with
it?
research.
It's called?
It's called the Science Hub, and it's a free app.
And let's talk
Okay.
about your real passion, which is what you and I sat down a few months ago at Panera and discussed, and that is where I met you for the first time.
Yes.
That awesome event, the Alzheimer's Walk.
Yep. So my primary role is to plan everything that has to do with the Walk to End Alzheimer's. I plan the Pasco Walk as well as the Pinellas Walk, and that is held this year, October 24th, but it's actually held in 600 communities nationwide. So this year's Pasco Walk will actually be the third year, and last year we had over 500 people participate, and we raised $60,000, which
Nice.
is absolutely amazing for an event that it's only on its second year last year, and coming up this year we hope to raise that
Really?
number
Oh my goodness.
dramatically. So everything that I just told you about programs, research, the support that we give, that wouldn't be possible without our fundraising events like the Walk to End Alzheimer's. And so it's really a cool event because the community gets together to raise money for the programs and support that they get to use as a community as well. And none of it would be possible without our awesome supporters.
And does
So-
that money go specifically or just across the board to programs? I'm assuming the one you do in Pasco goes across the board to programs in Pasco.
So as a
Or how does that
nationwide
work?
organization,
Okay.
it kind of gets spread out. But what's
Okay.
really cool about where the money goes with us is only 5% of our fundraising dollars goes to administrative duties. So
Oh, awesome.
paying our staff or anything like that. And that's why our volunteers are so important,
Yes.
is to be able to make that number as small as possible. And so that's why we call ourselves a volunteer-led organization. So something that you and I talked a little bit
Yes.
about was our committee. So right now I have a group of about 20 really dedicated volunteers that work with me, and that goes to everything from the logistics of the day of event to gaining sponsorships, recruiting teams, marketing in the community. So I have a really great team, and we're always looking for more people as well, and that's what makes it possible to be able to have that 5%. And nationally, that's much lower than many other nonprofits that you'll see.
Very
And of
nice.
course, you talk about that on your committees, but the day of the walk, I got to believe volunteers become very important also.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And
we
how
have-
can they get in touch with you? How can they help?
Yeah, so there's a lot of different ways that you
Please.
can get involved. So that ranges from sponsorships to just creating a team. So creating a team is completely free, and that can be a family team with your business, with a local networking group, and that's totally free, and you can put on your own fundraising events throughout the year. And then volunteers, like I said, we have a lot of need to gain committee members, but also day of. We're hoping to have about 60 day of volunteers to make sure everything runs really smoothly and everyone leaves feeling, really happy and excited. It's a celebration of life,
Right.
but also of hope, because we don't have that first survivor yet, and we like to leave feeling like we're one step closer to finding that first survivor.
Wow.
And so for them to do that, the alz.org, will that get them to where they need to be to help to
Yep,
volunteer,
so
or is there a more specific website?
Specifically Pasco, if you're looking to get involved in the Pasco Walk, it would be
Yeah,
let me go back. act.alz.org/Pasco.
one more time.
act.alz.org/Pasco.
Slash
Okay.
Pasco.
And that'll take you right to the Pasco Walk page, and that's where you can register, you can sign up to volunteer, and that's where all my information is posted as well if anyone wants to get in touch with me.
Oh, and here we go right here.
Yeah, it looks like there's some information up there, and they can also, the direct line, does that go right into the chapter? The 727, the 270?
270-9902, that's
Yep.
my direct line.
That's your
So
direct
if anyone
line.
wants to get in touch with me specifically,
And it's
that
okay
is
for
the
them to
number.
call you personally?
Yes, it is okay. I give them
Can't you tell
permission.
she's passionate about what she does, right?
Yeah, I take calls any time of the day, which is maybe good or bad, but I'm passionate about what I do, so I'm
Michelle,
happy
let me
with
ask you
it.
a question.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's part of yours or it's a separate, but I know Alzheimer's also has a organization, and again, I don't know if it comes, I'm assuming it comes under the umbrella of, that's specifically for caregivers.
Mm-hmm.
Is that different?
So
Is
you're
it-
thinking of the Alzheimer's Family Organization, I believe?
Yes.
Yeah, and so we have the same mission. They're just a sister organization that's
Okay.
has a really large presence in Pasco as well. So we're both fighting for the same thing, is to find that first survivor, but that's actually a separate organization.
Okay, but what's nice about that, and I think it's really cool that because they care, it's specifically for the caregiver, and so often, whether it's Alzheimer's or just somebody with terminal cancer, we always ask how the person is that's ill, but we never remember that there's
Exactly.
a big tear on the
Yeah.
caregiver.
Absolutely. Eventually, they can become the patient.
Yeah,
after all that.
unfortunately, I think statistics show that the caregiver actually sometimes passes away sooner than the actual Alzheimer's patient because of all the stress that they're under and how much time they're putting towards the patient and not putting themselves
That
first.
is a
Toward
classic
themselves.
story, isn't
Yes.
it, honey?
And that's why the 24/7 hotline, like I said, and the support groups that we offer in the community are
Yes.
so important, just to make sure that they know that they're not by themselves. It's a disease that really causes a feeling of helplessness and loneliness, and we're here to kind of lead them on an unfortunate path, but we're there to help them through those steps.
How
So.
neat is it to have such a young lady with so much passion for
Well, you know,
something?
I was just thinking about that. That's why I asked her the question, what made her go into this? Something just was tugging at my emotional heartstrings that there might have been family members, and that's what will become your driving force.
Yes.
So, and especially starting at such
Yeah.
a young age,
Yeah.
and she can mentor other young generations coming up. How long have you been a member with the Chamber?
So the Alzheimer's Association, the VP of Development, my boss, Robin Liska, has been a
Yes.
part of the Chamber for,
Yeah,
don't-
for a
you know,
long
probably
time.
a long time.
Robin Liska, Jeff Cranich, all those
Oh,
friends of
yeah.
ours. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I got involved the past 7 months since I've started this position, and it's been really amazing. Like, I'm from Pinellas County, so Pasco County is still new territory for me. So it's been a really good opportunity for me to kind of dive in and meet really awesome people and
That's
all
so
that good stuff.
fabulous.
Yeah.
Robin found herself a rock star, didn't she?
Yeah,
appreciate
absolutely.
that.
Tell Robin we said hello.
I will.
And
I
Jeff.
will.
And as
And
we
Jeff.
wrap up this segment, one more time, how can they get in touch with you and the website?
Yes, so my phone number is 727-270-9902, and the website is act.alz.org/Pasco.
Thank you, my
Awesome.
dear.
Listen, thank
Yes,
you.
thank
And
you.
thank you for being out there. We'll see you around town. We'll be right back. More on My Chamber TV.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back into My Chamber TV. We
we're
are
back.
the heartbeat of the community. Thanks for joining us. We have been featuring the Greater Pasco Chamber of Commerce, and oh, how they have grown. Hey, Paul?
Yeah, we have grown, guys. We made a move last year. We're well into our first full year. June 30th will be the end of our fiscal year. And guys, things are just growing like crazy. We have 1,100 plus members. If you're watching this segment, I'm not going to tell you everything's been, roses and everything else. There's been some bumps in the road as we grow together and things.
Of course.
But I've got to tell you, it's been actually a really wonderful experience. It's always a fun experience. Barb's been around like myself for a long time, and I think sometimes the bumps in the road make life a little more exciting.
Of course, a hiccup here, a hiccup there. But you know what? In the end, when it comes together, 1,100 members, you said earlier?
Yes, 1,100 plus members at this point, and it's wonderful. We've had just 3 of them on here today.
That's right.
We're actually, guys, thinking next month, hopefully, we're going to now have 2 shows. We don't know exactly. This one will always air at this time, but we're going to do a show where we feature the eastern part, because we now go all the way over to 41. So we'll have a show where we actually feature some of the members that maybe can't make it all the way over to the studio here in Port Richey, but we'll go on site and see them.
Yeah.
So we're excited about that. It'll give those people, those people that in the middle of their workday maybe can't get here, but we can go over and see them.
Yeah.
So that'll make for a really fun show. As everybody knows, Jasco Fiesta is right around the corner.
Oh my goodness, that's a big one.
Seriously, right around the corner. And somebody will say, "Well, you're excited about your reign as King Pithla being over." To be honest with you, it's sort of bittersweet to me. To be excited about it. I thought about this before. Lisa and I did a lot of stuff this year. We sent out a note to all the new people that we're going to nominate to explain to them that their year is their year. I mean, years ago, this morphed into what used to just be during Chasco Fiesta into what you're seeing now. It used to just years and years ago, it used to just be high school students. But when they started the Coronation Ball and started not-for-profits and service organizations nominating, it started as just you were active during Chasco Fiesta.
Right. In
fact, somebody must have remembered that because I was at something at the park one day and they go, "Well, I thought you were just King Pithla during Chasco Fiesta." I said, "No, it's a year-round job." And so, but Lisa and I are so heavily involved anyway. So yes, we've done some extra stuff we maybe would not have done, but we keep trying to explain to people that it's your year to do what you want to. Do you have to be at 3 events a night and every event every week? No, not at all, guys. You can. It's your year. Last year, Rob Green, Ellie Paladine, a little less visible, but still gave back to their community in big ways. So yes, it's not just a matter of how many times, if you're watching me, it's not a matter of how many times you can post on Facebook, I'm here, I'm there, until somebody goes, "Are you like a hologram?" No, it's what you want to make of your year. It's an honor to be nominated. It's humbling and honoring to be selected. But when somebody asks me that, I go, to me, to say, "Yeah, I'm really glad it's going to be over," is disrespectful to what I've done all year, as well as to the organizations, which was Pasco Kids First and the Greater Pasco Chamber of Commerce ambassadors that nominated me for this position. So in all reality, yeah, it's a little bit bittersweet. Yes, it's been a very busy year, but it's been an absolute honor and extremely humbling to do it.
I know. And you know what? I was so happy to hear that when you were honored with that crown.
Thank you.
And the one thing, maybe you have been out there doing a lot, but I don't know that it's any different than what you were doing before, because you were out there anyway, everywhere, everywhere.
And that's the key. That's what we're trying to explain to them. Well, I never have the time to do what Paul and Lisa did this year. No, it's not about that.
Right.
It's not about that. You do what you do for your year in, I hate to use the word reign, because it's, but you do what you do for your year as being selected for Queen Chasco and King Pithla. You're on the float on Saturday, you're in the boat parade, and you're at both of the concerts, and then you figure out what works for you.
Right.
And so with that in mind, though, if you haven't yet, March 27th, which is a Friday night, will be the coronation ball at Spartan Manor. We'd love to have you come out and support the new nominees. Barb, I believe, I don't want to misspeak, but I believe we're up to about 24 nominations already.
Wow.
And we still have more people coming in. It's going to be that night is so cool. It's so much fun. We have a really, really neat entertainment that night. This is somebody that actually played at Judith Cousteau's 80th birthday party.
Oh, dear.
And these guys are awesome. They play any kind of music you can imagine. So
Fun.
it is going to be a really, really cool evening. That night, too, if for any reason you can't make it to Pasco, the Coronation Ball, there's a free, that's the night of the free Christian concert in the park.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't think of the guy's name that's going to be there, but I know our granddaughter knows him, and it's going to be a fun night, too. And, guys, there's, with the exception of the Saturday night, which is the country concert, the first Saturday night, which would be March 28th, and the last Saturday night, which I believe is April 4th, which is the rock concert, which is going to be Brent Michaels. And that just went, Barb just went, who? But if you're listening to this and you'll probably know who that is. But here's what's neat about that. Those are the only things that cost, that have a ticket price.
Sure.
Everything else, there are concerts all week long between that Friday and skipping to that Saturday, Sunday through Friday of the next week. There are free, different types. There's like big band, there's rock, there's all types of things, and they're all free during that whole
How
week.
fun is that?
That whole week. It
and
is
you
such
know-
a blast.
And that's one of the reasons why I love doing these shows, because, like I said earlier, we bring the community to you. And maybe you don't get out very much, and when you watch the show, you get a chance to see some of the things that are going on in this community. Talk about the heartbeat of the community. Pasco has such a huge heart.
So everything from the Friday night concert, the 27th, if you can't make it to the Coronation Ball, to that starting on that Sunday, the 29th, and going through that Friday, which would be, I believe, is April 3rd, there's a free concert every night in the park. And there's some that'll be high school, there'll be kids out there. They've got a carnival there, they've got all types. It is just a fun event. And if you haven't been downtown Newport Richey lately,
Oh, my goodness.
there's all types of new businesses. They're all fun. There's a couple of different microbrewery companies down there. Main Street Landings has started renting already. The Loop on Orange Lake, or the Central on Orange Lake, is just about to be open, those two new apartment
Yep.
buildings.
Yep.
So it's a wonderful week. On Tuesday night, which I believe is 27, 28, 29, 30, 30, I believe it's the 31st of March, but it's the Tuesday, is going to be the YPG's Chasco's bowling tournament.
Oh, cool.
Which is always a blast, and that's Tuesday night. Again, I believe, don't hold me to this, but let's see, if Friday's 27, 28, 29, 30, yes, 31st of March is a Tuesday night, and that will be the Young Professionals Group
I love that
bowling
group.
tournament, and that is a blast. That's at Langlo South. It's $160 for a team, and if you don't bowl, come on out and just have a blast
Just
with
hang
us.
out,
It is so
right?
much. Oh my gosh, it is
Yes.
so much fun. And then that Friday is the Greater Pasco Chamber of Commerce Chasco Golf Tournament at Seven Springs Country Club, and I believe that's Friday, April 3rd.
Always has something going
There's a lot of really neat things going on.
And we only touch on a few things, but if you go to the website,
Yes.
you'll be able to see all kinds of different activities, different events, charity. I mean, you name it, there is something out there. And I'm so glad that you mentioned about down in downtown
Yes.
Newport Richey, Main Street. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe, because I raised my kids up in this neck of the woods. It was nowhere near like that. I mean, it's just
Well,
like,
our buddy Liz Meismer is now the executive director for Newport Richey Main Street, which
Oh,
is a
okay.
national organization. They're Main Streets. And I just helped her with as King Pitha, I just helped her with, they just did a dessert stroll.
oh,
And
really?
they had either 20 or, I want to say like 30 or 35 of the businesses you could walk around and stroll. And it was like, I think it was like $20 to register, and you had goodies and things, but you got to stop at all these stores, and they all had these wonderful desserts. And
that
then
sounds
I
like
think back,
fun.
Lisa and I missed it. I want to say it was back in November. We had another event. We didn't make it in time, but they had a wine stroll through downtown.
Nice.
So, I mean, things are really, really happening down
Yeah,
there.
and this is a good time of the year too, because it's not so hot.
It's
just
gorgeous out.
lovely evenings, lovely during the day, and you couldn't see Main Street in one day, really. I mean,
No,
there's so
not
much
anymore.
to see. It's really like it's hometown feel,
And
right?
it's like, yeah, it's like a steamroller effect, because what was it?
Yeah.
Maybe 2-3 years ago they redid Sims Park.
Yep, I remember
And when
that.
they redid Sims Park, and you have the splash pad out there for the kids, I got a picture. Timmy's 4 now. I think I have a picture of him, a video of him when Pam and I took him there, and he was like 2 years old, running through the water and having a blast. And that started to steamroll everything. Hacienda, I believe, later this year will be open as a boutique hotel again.
I can't, that is just
Our ice
unreal.
cream shop on the corner
Yep.
there just opened a new store next to him called Melted, and it's all.
Oh, did they?
It's all grilled cheese and things like that.
Really?
Yes, and like I said, you've got the different microbreweries down there. You have Ordnance One. You've got Pete's Grand Central. You have Cody River Brewing Company. In fact, we've got an event that's a private event that we do a reception for the past kings and queens.
Oh, yeah?
And
When did they start doing that? Have they always done that?
they started. Somebody else raised the bar on that, and they started that 3 or 4 years ago. So it's just something else we get to do and have fun.
There you go.
But yeah, that's something that Lisa I put together, and you invite all the past royalty.
How fun is
And
that?
then we were nice. They were kind enough at Cody River Brewing Company. They're not open on Monday night, so they were kind enough to let us have the facility for a couple of hours to host that
Hey,
reception.
that's all right.
So that'll be nice. And we have our buddy Eric Anderson coming out as a sort of donating his time to play for a couple of hours on his guitar. Jay David, of course, always donating his time to come out and take pictures.
Yeah,
So
they're great.
there's so much fun stuff going on.
You know, and that's what I love about the businesses and the community is you make it fun. You make it fun. You have a purpose. You give back to the community, and it's like one big happy family up here in Pasco. And I'll tell you that My Chamber TV is the one way for you to tune in to see what's going on in the community.
Yeah.
And you have been with the Chamber for how long?
Well, I've been involved with the Chamber, I think, for about 10 years, almost the same amount of time that I've been in the Rotary Club. And you and I have been doing this for probably close to 6 years when we were doing it on the bio down in Tarpon Springs.
Exactly.
It's-
So we will see you next time,
Yes.
same place, 1st of next month, and then
And
looks
hopefully with our second show from the
Yes,
eastern
yes.
side of our territory.
because we can't do it all in one show.
No, not
How
anymore.
about that?
Not anymore. It has been an honor and a pleasure. And
Good
John,
to see you. Thanks,
Rob,
John.
guys, thank you
Rob,
all so much
crew,
for your
everybody.
time.
We'll see you next time. Have a blessed evening. Take care. Thanks
See
for
you
joining
guys.
us today.